Greetings everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play BS Zelda no Densetsu. Alright, we have completed 7 dungeons in the game. We are ready to take on the final dungeon, collect our last piece of the Triforce, and whatnots. But first, I need to collect a lot of shit. There's a few more items that we have to get. Some of them useful, some of them not useful at all, but they're only available now. And actually, if I were playing the timed version of the game, there's one item that I'm about to get that's only available for like a 10-minute window, and that's it. But I'm not dealing with that shit. I'm just gonna go get it right now, because that is how I roll. I don't have time to wait around for your time limits. Anyway, now that these statues are alive, and I've defeated the 7th dungeon, I can go down these steps and grab myself a red ring! Oh yeah! A red ring. All one word. I now have the prettiest dress in all the land. I am wearing pink, and I am finally a princess. There we go. I'm also going to use my infinite bombs on this motherfucker because he is a dick. All old men are dicks. Dirty old men. Anyway, that's it. Alright! Time to use my wet magic flute yet again. We're gonna go grab a new sword, because why not? Oh, apparently my sprite activates those things even though I'm in the tornado. Very interesting. Wow, I was also very lucky to appear where I wanted to appear. I did that totally on accident. I still don't understand quite how the flute works. I mean, I think I kind of get it now, but whatever. As far as I know, I can't get to that grave, but I'm sure it's not important. I got a magic sword! Not just a magic sword, the Master Sword! Hell yes! So now that we have the red ring and the Master Sword, we are pretty much a death machine. This sword does a lot of damage. It does, let's see, what? The white sword does twice as much as a wooden sword, and then the Master Sword, I think, does 4 times as much as the wooden sword, because it's double the white sword, or something like that. Also, the Master Sword has a cool property where it will shoot sword beams no matter how many hearts we have left, so, or as far as I can tell, no matter what kind of damage I take, I'm still shooting sword beams. Shoot sword beams every day, all day, 420. You get the joke. I'm not going for those bombs again, sorry. Oh, you need to get out of here, good lord. Alright, anyway, our final dungeon is up the mountain. Not here, but I am going to show off what this does, for those who haven't played the classic Zelda. These are in the classic Zelda as well. That's what they do. I think there's maybe 4 of them in the classic Zelda, but it appears there's only 2 here. But remember, the overworld was reduced by 50%. The overworld of the classic NES Zelda is twice as big. Traveling around it can get pretty tedious, especially when there's map areas like that that are totally pointless. Well, pointless, except for the fact that they're pointing the direction I need to go. Ho-ho! Funny joke, game. I'm onto your tricks. Anyway, we're going to make our way to the left now from this area. And we're going to come across a pretty familiar sight for those of you who played the classic Zelda. They actually reference this in a lot of other games, but this is Pinnacle Rock. You bomb the left one, you get the final dungeon. That's just how it works. That's just, you know, that's just Zelda game logic. That's just always how it works. Anyway, welcome to level 8! Yes, I said it in a very weird way because it is the final dungeon. Death is abound in here, and look at that. We get something right in the first room. It's the final actually useful item of the game. There is another item in this dungeon, and it's pretty useless. But anyway, we've got the silver arrows. They do twice as much damage as the regular arrows, which doesn't really matter because I don't use them that much as a weapon in this game. They're not terribly useful compared to some other things like sword beams or, you know, the killer boomerang that they gave me. If I were playing the classic version, it would be a pretty baller weapon, but, you know, I got this crazy boomerang that's just so much better in every way. Although, that being said, the silver arrow is required to kill Ganon at the end of the game, so gotta use that. Also, now that we have infinite bombs, there is no reason not to bomb anything, and that's actually good in this dungeon because a shit ton of stuff is bombable. And there's another item in the dungeon. That's the magic book. It turns our magic wand into a candle. Basically, it now lights a fire where it lands. Yeah, that's it. It might do more damage too, I don't really know. I don't really care to check. Anyway, as I was saying, there are a shit ton of bombable walls in this dungeon. There's really no reason to take the normal route. You can just bomb the hell out of everywhere. And I'm going to try the Dodongo dislike smoke trick that they demonstrated from the classic NES. Some people were pointing out that if you blow it up in front of the Dodongo, he will become vulnerable to swords, but it doesn't seem to work in this version. So you just kind of gotta shove him in his mouth. There is another room later where there are 3 Dodongo, and I'll try it out there as well, and you will see how it works. Use the sword to stop Ganon, and then shoot an arrow. Well, there you go. He's telling us how to kill the final boss of the dungeon. Did I use an arrow on you? Is that how it works? Are you Ganon? I think you're Ganon. I'm gonna light you on fire. Burn in hell, old man. Also, thank you for the advice. I'm a pretty pink princess. Hey, there's a map! I'm going to be coming into this room a few more times trying to find that map, and I'm going to be unsuccessful both times, but whatever. Not a big deal. Yep. So I was trying to test out the magic rod to see if it was useful on Wizrobes now. Nope, still useless. So, yeah, not going to be using that anymore. Yeah, so, like I said, a lot of fluff items near the end of the game here that aren't really that useful. Also, silver arrows do nothing against Wizrobes. Wizrobes are just dicks. They just don't take damage from anything. I say as I'm doing damage to them with the boomerang. They don't take damage to, you know, even late game items such as the silver arrows or the powered up magic rod. Also, the magic rod doesn't even work as a candle. Well, son of a bitch. Unless this room is supposed to be permanently dark, I guess it is. Either that or it's broken. Whatever. Yeah, I can't seem to make my way down. Oh well, let's just get out of here. Not necessary. Don't need that. Man, a lot of bombable walls here. Anyway, we got the compass in that previous room. We could see where the dungeon enemy is. It's actually above us, only a few rooms. So that's pretty cool. I am going to explore the rest of the dungeon, though, because I do like to show off. You know, there's not much in these dungeons, but I like to show them off because there's not much, you know. You gotta see how they're laid out. They put a lot of work into the design here, you know. There's a lot of really exciting rooms going on. God, just blocked myself with a fire, but whatever. Gave me the invincibility frames to deal with the bubble. Can't get the map that way, Zelda! Guess we're gonna have to try from the north. Fucking Dark Nuts. Cool thing about Dark Nuts is they are killable in 1 hit with the Master Sword, so hell yeah, and Blue Dark Nuts take 2 hits with the Master Sword, so dealing with them is much simpler. Goddamn Wizrobes. Wizrobes are also the same. They are very easy to kill now. Once you get the Master Sword, like I said, you're pretty much a killing machine. And this dungeon is an arrow, pointing downward. Wow, that's cool, I guess. Yeah, I don't really get that, but whatever, not important. There's actually an old man later who's going to make mention of the shape of the dungeon. So maybe it's just shaped like that just so he can make that one reference. Even though it's a dumb reference. And I'm getting way ahead of myself. Let's go find this dungeon boss. What the hell? Hey, look at that. It's this guy again. Except now he's doing the up and down and he's got the little baby flies with him. So yeah, he's really easy even with the Master Sword. We can kill his ass! I know I gotta push this rock. There we go. These rooms never get old. I never grow tired of these rooms. Alright, so this is the final real dungeon of the game. Where would a final dungeon be without a boss rush? So, in a few rooms here, we're going to be going through pretty much a gauntlet of bosses. This guy is telling us a very cryptic message, which basically means that if I get caught by the wall masters in this room, I'll be taken back to the beginning of the dungeon. You know, probably wouldn't have figured that out by now, considering that these guys are in pretty much every single dungeon up until now. No, I'm not going to demonstrate it. Sorry. You get the point. They grab you, you're back at the beginning. Alright, boss rush time. We have 3 Dodongos now. I'm trying to do the smoke trick again. It's not quite... They keep eating them. There we go. That one quite obviously blew up in front of him, and he didn't stop or become vulnerable. Vulnerable! Yep. Yeah, see? So it doesn't work. There. I've just demonstrated it doesn't work in this version. Shove it in his face. Move on. So much more efficient anyway. So much simpler, if you ask me. It's the super strong Aqua Menace. Oh my god. He's not different at all. Pretty much just tank him. Now that we have the pink dress, we are, you know, it's really hard to kill us. We take 1/4 damage. Not really much that can be done here. We could just leave this room, actually. As you can see, the door northward is already open. But I'm going to kill the manhandle because fuck that. I'm trying to prove a point. And it's boss time! We have 2 Gomas. 2, count them 2, blue Gomas. They take 2 hits with the silver arrows to kill. Not just 1 hit with a regular arrow like the other Goma did. It's okay though. Like I said, basically at this point in the game, we can just tank bosses. We can take hits, and also take names, because seriously, nothing can harm us anymore. Especially since we're gonna get another heart container in this dungeon, and have even more protection! Hell yeah! And we have the final piece of the Triforce. We now have all 8 pieces of the Triforce! Well, at least one part of the Triforce. We have the key to the final... Oh, it's dark all of a sudden. And, yeah. That's really weird. Alright, anyway. Things are pretty ominous, but we'll check that shit out next time. I'll see you then, later.